Hello, SpongeX here with another episode of Video Games Worth Taking Your Time, showing the video game Kameo, Elements of Power on Xbox 360 and Xbox One. Here we are exploring more of the Badlands, which is pretty much the hub world of this game. So this will be the last episode of Kameo for this installment of Video Games Worth Taking Your Time. Yeah, it still amazes me like how huge the world in this game is. I just wish there was a little more to do though. It'd be nice if there was more of like some kind of leveling up system, like enemies to beat and experience to gain. That would have made this game a lot more fun. For what it is though, it's still a good game, but it just leaves you wanting more. Now this is one of my favorite areas in the game, Mountain Falls. I've always had a soft spot for like tropical areas in video games, and this one just really stands out with the game's gorgeous water effects.
They'll be sorry. Get the hang of this.
Now we can settle back and enjoy our vacation. Whoa! I can't talk. Killer. Attaboy!
So I've already posted a video about this, but one thing that's really funny to do is go inside this guy's house and just mess around with his hammock.
Thanks to you, life is great.
No matter what, he'll always say, "Thanks to you, life is great." It's just leads to some really crazy situations you can do. I really love the physics they added. Like, I remember when I first attacked it, I wasn't expecting it to go flying all over the place.
Life is great.
Like, 40 below, he definitely can do some of the most interesting damage to the hammock, along with thermite.
Another new thing. Thanks to you, life.
Darn, he doesn't do that much damage. He's not doing any damage, for crying out loud.
Deep blue. Flex. Everyone needs time off. 40 pillows. Thanks to you, life is great.
You're welcome. I don't know what happened there, but So this area I thought looked a lot cooler when you turn on the 64-bit mode. It just makes it look more colorful. That's one thing that's interesting, like, there are certain creatures or objects in this game where when they explode, you see, like, their juices linger onto the screen. I mean, this effect was originally used in Conquer Live and Reloaded, and it was brought over in a few other Rareware games as well, including this and Viva Pinata. Now, sometimes it can be cool, but other times it can be kind of distracting. Kind of wish it disappeared a little quicker, but yeah, I don't know why. I thought this area looked a lot cooler with the 64-bit mode on. It just looks too dark and gloomy and colorless without it. The lighting is a little too extreme here, but that's pretty much the game in general. It doesn't matter what screen effect you have on, it's always gonna have like some kind of brightness overload or darkness overload. I think the shell squished it. See, this is how it looks like without the 64-bit on. Doesn't it look terrible in comparison? It just looks so grayish. Yeah, to think that Rare originally wanted the sequel of this game to be darker entirely. Have a darker gothic art style throughout, and it's like, ugh, I would rather have the sequel be more colorful, not... Ugh, that's awful. Now, I wouldn't want the game to look this vibrant, per se, but I'd rather it look more vibrant than the current game itself, but... Yeah, sometimes it's fun to just go to certain areas in this game and mess around with the screen effects and see how they look, and, like, there's some areas that look terrible with the screen effects, and there's some areas like this that actually look interesting when you have a certain effect on. I believe this was the area where you got Deep Blue originally. After you got him, the place started flooding and you had to use Deep Blue to swim out of it. That troll died from one of his own bombs. I do not like the lighting in this area. It reflects off the snow too strongly, giving this real ugly appearance. Yeah, like, I hate it when video games use too much of a bloom effect, I believe is what it's called. It just ruins a lot of visuals for certain, and just makes a lot of scenes hard to look at. Now, I think, like, bloom effects can look good, like, in, short amounts, or have it limited in certain areas, but when it's infected throughout the entire game, it can really interfere with the visuals in certain areas. But yeah, one thing I noticed that's really cool is all the different footprints the characters will make in the snow. Apparently the water characters don't really leave any footmarks, they just leave little water drops, but it's kind of cool to just observe that, though. There are some games that just lazily, you know, like, use, like, the same footprint for each character, whether it makes sense or not, so it's cool how this game actually bothered, you know, making different track marks for each character. Apparently thermite is so light, he doesn't even leave a single footprint. That's crazy. Apparently his rolling mechanic doesn't leave a print either.
Flex. 40 below.
And he just leaves a trail of ice.
Chiller.
I'll admit the snowy areas actually look a lot better at night, though. That's different. Usually a lot of the areas in the game look worse at nighttime. It just makes everything look too dark and hard to see, but there's something about the snow area where it just has like, it looks more colorful. You don't have like that burning bright light reflecting off of all that snow, leaving like a weird ghostly glare. I also love like all the detail on like all those rocks and stuff like that, how it really looks like they're standing out. I mean, a lot of video games that use like textures for rocks, they looked very flat and they were on like real flat surface 3D models. So they use a lot of bump mapping for a lot of these images and textures, and it really helps them stand out. Yeah, I believe Kameo, that was one of the very first video games I ever saw that used like a really good heavy emphasis on bump mapping and all of that. I mean, Conquer Line Reloaded kind of tried doing a little of that, but it looked a little lower compared to how much better it looks in this game. And it kind of makes sense though. Conquer was, the remake was on Xbox, and this was on Xbox 360. Fun fact though, they both came out the same year though, and originally Kameo was supposed to be an Xbox original, but they decided to polish it up a little more to be an Xbox 360 game, and if you stand still, sometimes Kameo will do like a shivering animation. Kind of makes sense though, her attire does not look like it's very suitable for winter weather. I like the music in this part.
The baskets are pretty unstable. Dragon eggs.
Let's have Kameo wear her winter wear. Stupid spiders. Yeah, that's one thing I kind of liked about this game, how each region has like its own set of villagers. It's like Kameo's town, it's a bunch of, they call them elves, but we all know they're supposed to be fairies. But, you know, like human-like creatures with magical abilities, basically. And then in the Forest Kingdom, you have like those weird little plant creatures. In the water area, you have those weird-looking squid-like things, kind of like a Zora almost. And, here you have like these weird-looking, bug-looking creatures.
Flex.
I don't know what that is, but it reminds me of like Roger Rabbit, a sound that Roger Rabbit would make. I have no idea what those things are though that you had to latch onto. They look like some kind of, I don't know, a xenomorph from Alien or something. Ugh. Oh
does, but I can't help loving him.
Well, that was awkward.
It's good to be out of the house.
Ouch. Uh-oh. Whoa! Now let's head off to the last part in the hub world, which is the entrance to Thorn's Pass. Unfortunately, you cannot revisit that area after beating it. You can only go to the entrance of it, basically, but it's still kind of cool to explore the area, especially when you have the cheats activated that you can unlock in the game. So, I currently have on infinite health and fireproof, so it allows me to actually walk through the lava that would originally one-hit kill you if you touched it. And it can lead to some really funny things, though. Yeah, this is another area in the game that actually looks better at night. The lava helps give it more of a glowish in certain areas, and it just looks a lot better. Especially with the contrast of the nighttime colors. Just so strange. I'll admit, it's not the strangest interaction with lava I've seen in a rare game. Try playing Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. Like, that game had such a flawed, like, kind of health meter thing to the point where Banjo could just stand around in the lava and he could actually swim through it as if it were water. I just remember thinking that made no sense. Here I'm only able to do this because I have cheats activated that were unlocked through the game's like challenges, and so Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, that was in the game regardless. The game was so broken it allowed you to swim through hot lava. Ugh, the frame rate gets really wonky when you walk under that bridge for some reason. Luckily that's a part of the game you're not supposed to go through. But so here's something interesting I noticed. I got the camera to go up close while in Major Ruins form, and I was able to see some of his textures, like a texture sheet on like a 3D model cube. I thought that was really strange. Well, that's all I have to show for now. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.